Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show. Dr. Inoue and the others were busy until nightfall. Although they felt tired, they were looking forward to it. The reason was that it was time for dinner. When I think of the meal I ate at noon, I am astonished. Of course, they also know that those dishes are already all the signatures in the store today, and they must still be the same dishes at night. But does that matter? It doesn't matter at all, let alone 2 meals a day. Even if they eat for 10 days and a half months, they won't get tired of it. It is so delicious in the world that people who feel tired of it are simply unforgivable. Although the shop was very busy, Li Xian naturally would not forget them. There was still a table full of dishes, allowing them to feast on their hearts and eat and drink to their heart's content. I have to say that every time I eat the dishes in Li Xian, I feel like I can't eat enough. Even if my stomach is bloated, my mouth is still madly wanting to eat more and more. Let Tadakoro Megumi help Dr. Inoue and the others. As for Li Xian, it can be said that as long as the business starts, he will basically be busy in the kitchen until it closes and rests. Naturally, Dr. Inoue was aware of the situation, so he didn't bother Li Xian too much. He wrote down the relevant situation in his notebook, and Li Xian could follow the instructions above. After the best time for business had passed, Li Xian took out a piece of kitchen paper to wipe the water on his hands and asked Tadakoro Megumi, "Dr. Inoue, what did they say when they left?" "They wrote everything down, and they sent the medicines they needed just after they went back." Li Xian took the paper handed by Tadakoro Megumi and flipped it over. "In fact, there is no major problem. Today, Dr. Inoue and the others checked it. The main reason is that there are some small wounds on the body that need to be medicated, and because they have lived in the wild for a long time, they need to take some deworming medicine for them. Spending so much time and energy today is mainly to give them a whole body cleaning and vaccination. This is the big deal, and the rest are nothing. Otherwise, if there are other places that need treatment, it will definitely not be completed today." Li Xian nodded with satisfaction. If it weren't for the fact that it was still in business, it would be inconvenient for him to go to the backyard, so he planned to take a look, but satisfaction comes at a price. Not to mention anything else, Li Xian cost 500,000 yen for today's vaccines, examinations, medicine fees, and other miscellaneous expenses. That long bill Li Xian looks big. The big one is the vaccine, which includes the price of the next few shots, otherwise it would not be so expensive. The latter vaccines will still be served by them on site, and they will notify in advance when the time comes. Money is a trivial matter. Now Li Xian can proudly say that labor and capital are not bad for money. He picked up his mobile phone and transferred Jian Qian to the account of the veterinary hospital according to the amount finally settled above, and sent a thank you message to Dr. Inoue and told him that the money had been transferred to pay attention to check it. In addition to the medical files, today, Dr. Inoue and the others also created corresponding files for cats and dogs, and gave Li Xian a copy, which is what Li Xian is looking at now. Usually, Li Xian didn't go to the inventory. After all, it might have increased at that time. Now it is confirmed that this file is just right. Now there are 36 cats in the backyard. Basically, most of the types of pet cats are included, while the number of dogs is much less, only half of cats, only 18, most of which are still small dogs. German Shepherds are the leaders of large dogs. There is a Golden Retriever, and an Alaska. Unexpectedly, a super large dog, the Great Pyrenees, was also mixed in, but because the Great Pyrenees was still small, it had not been fully opened, and its size was still in the range of medium-sized dogs, so Li Xian didn't pay special attention to it. Another surprise is that there are no local Shiba Inu among these dogs. It may be a local monk who likes to recite sutras. Li Xian put away the 2 documents in his hand, looked at the medicine over there, and started to work after he knew what he was doing. It's not about doing business in the store, it's about preparing dinner for those little cuties in the backyard to celebrate their new house, and make something big tonight. Therefore, Li Xian decided to treat them with hangkrilla bird meat tonight. He usually uses roasted whole pigs. Tonight, he will be extravagant, to use Hankrilla bird. After all, the number of Hankrilla birds on Hankrilla Island is not very large. Compared with the roasted whole pigs that reproduce faster, the reproduction speed of Hankrilla birds is simply slag. Therefore, Li Xian is also afraid that he will eat the Hankilila bird to extinction, so he still pays great attention to the concept of sustainable development in this regard. Of course, he is automatically ignoring that he is the one who eats the most. A Hankrilla bird may be eaten for about a month in his hands, but for those cats and dogs, it may be eaten for more than a year. After all, several tons of meat still contain so much energy. Of course, saying less is only relative. There are still dozens of them on Hankrilla Island, and there is a difference in time flow rate. As long as it is not excessive, there is no such problem. In the evening, Li Xian and Tadakoro Megumi came to the backyard with food for the little cuties. There were soft night lights in the yard, so they were not afraid of not being able to see clearly. "Come out, it's dinner time." Some cats and dogs who were still playing and fighting outside smelled the fragrance and ran over at the feet of Li Xian and Tadakoro Megumi, while some were resting in the cat house, which is why Li Xian said this. Of course, Li Xian not only prepared Hankrilla bird meat for cats and dogs, but also prepared some others. It is very important not to be picky eaters and to have a balanced nutrition. To get them to eat the vegetables, Li Xian poured Hankrilla bird gravy on the vegetables so they wouldn't be too resistant. Tadakoro Megumi happily watched so many cats and dogs eating together in harmony, and couldn't help but touch it and look at it. It's rare to see so many cats and dogs of different breeds. Soon, the kittens and puppies were full. After all, this meal was full of energy tonight, and they couldn't eat it. Li Xian also controlled the rate and wouldn't let them eat too much. "Hello, little cutie." Tadakoro Megumi picked up a silver-colored chinchilla and played with it, and saw someone playing with them. Even when they loved the house, there were also well-fed cats and dogs coming to Tadakoro Megumi. But the most is Li Xian's side. After all, animals know who is really good to them, and Li Xian's feeding has naturally been effective during this period of time. Li Xian will naturally not refuse the little cuties to get close to them, especially seeing the big white bear dog mixed in. Li Xian couldn't help grabbing it and holding it in his arms, teasing its chin and letting the little one. The guy narrowed his eyes in comfort. But in the end, Li Xian's arms were occupied by the Persian cat queen, and the German shepherd was naturally lying beside Li Xian. As for the big white bear dog, it has not grown up yet, it is still a child, and it has gone to the side to fight with its friends. After playing with them for a while, I felt a lot more relaxed. Li Xian looked at the time and said to Tadakoro Megumi, "Shall we? It's very late, you should go back, otherwise Ryoko and the others should be worried." Tadakoro Megumi took out his mobile phone and saw that it was almost 10 o'clock. Tonight, when the store closed before 9 o'clock, an hour passed without knowing it. Sure enough, who can refuse these cute things? Naturally, Tadakoro Megumi would not ignore Li Xian's words. Although he was very reluctant, he still had a lot of time to spend together. Tadakoro Megumi felt that he would wake up early tomorrow morning and come to accompany them. "Brother Li Xian, I'll go back first." Go, pay attention to safety on the road." After seeing the figure of Tadakoro Megumi in the distance, Li Xian closed the store door and the lights on the first floor, and went upstairs to wash up. After taking a shower, Li Xian didn't rush to turn on the phone, but opened the system panel and looked at his information. Name, Li Xian. Chef star, 3-star chef. Gourmet cell, level 7 63%. Food devil, none. Food world, Hankrilla Island, 100%. Recipes, golden egg fried rice, magic mapo tofu, fried Xinjiang vegetables, shredded pork with green peppers, burgundy beef stew, imitation crispy barbecue, yunlong fried shrimp, silky chicken stewed rice. Item, bull demon knife. There have been no major changes in this period of time, mainly because the food cell has increased by a little more than one level, reaching 63% at level 7. Thinking about it, there seems to be nothing to do next. The cats and dogs in the backyard have also moved in, and the next thing is planting, so it is time to devote myself to the awakening of gourmet cells. Now there is still a 27% distance from level 2 to level 10. The previous lottery draws have been digested, so a new round of lottery draws must be started. New recipes and new ingredients are the fastest way to improve food cells. But before that, Li Xian took a look at the balance of the card. Well, surely N can't come for the time being. He just threw 500,000 yen out. After the lottery, he will definitely spend money to enter the chef space, then come. 5 in a row. System, I want to draw 5 times. Li Xian didn't go to wash his hands again to ask for the blessing of the gods and gods, the founder of the Three Qing dynasty, the Jade Emperor. He felt that luck should be good today, and those little cuties would help him. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Phoenix Jade Dumplings, Xiaodongjia Special Fried Dumplings, Xinglong Dumplings, Jinzushi Stone, and Lily of the Valley Cherry. Not bad. Li Xian looked at the results of this lottery. At least all of them were shipped, not the previous thank you for patronage, 10 yen, 1 yen, and all kinds of ordinary items. Although they have all been shipped, and there are still 3 recipes and 2 ingredients in the food world, are you poking a dumpling nest? All are dumpling recipes. Forget it, I haven't eaten dumplings for a long time. I haven't eaten them since I came to this world. No matter what happened in my previous life, I would eat dumplings several times a month. I remember that these 3 dumpling recipes were all recipes from the dumpling competition. Phoenix Jade Dumplings were recipes from Master GD, and the last 2 recipes belonged to the young master. Ignore so much, let the system transmit the recipe. Li Xian, who accepted the 3-course method of making dumplings, was in high spirits. Although it was quite late, there was a space for chefs, so there was nothing to worry about. Enter the kitchen god space. Li Xian's thoughts moved, and the familiar Duweichang appeared in front of him again. The 3 dumplings should start with the Phoenix Jade Dumpling. After all, the red oil used in it is obtained from the clear oil in the fried Qingjiang dish. The first thing to do is to knead the dough. The reason why the Phoenix Jade Dumplings are named is that they are placed on the plate like a phoenix, and the rest is the same color as jade. The key to this step is to add spinach powder when kneading the dough, so that the dumpling skin will be emerald colored. Fortunately, this time, Li Xian did not have to try the ratio of spinach powder to noodles little by little, it was given directly in the recipe. Li Xian kneaded a lot when kneading the noodles. After all, tonight is a dumpling feast, and he will basically deal with the noodles all night. The dumpling filling is of course meat filling. For carnivores like Li Xian, meat dumplings are the true love. After filling the dumplings, Li Xian divided the dough into balls of the right amount, and then used Xiao Jin to press the dough with a kitchen knife to turn the dough into dumpling skins. Picking the meat filling with the chopsticks in his left hand, and closing the dumpling skins in his right hand, the dumplings are perfectly closed. With Li Xian's current hand strength, he is not afraid that the dumplings will fall apart when they are cooked. The water in the pot over there has been thoroughly boiled, and the water is quickly simmered, and then it is placed on the plate. It's a pity that Li Xian hasn't been so skilled at arranging dumplings in the shape of a phoenix like Master GD. He can only place the dumplings and red oil on a white porcelain plate a little bit clumsily. Just like the top-grade jadeite dumplings, there are bright and dazzling red oil. The dumplings are the head and body of the phoenix. The red oil is used as the link and the flaming flame at the bottom. The whole dish gives a bright feeling as soon as it is served. The phoenix spreads its wings and wants to fly. Li Xian put a dumpling in his mouth, but the taste of the dumpling was surprisingly sweet and sour. It was different from the red oil of ordinary Sichuan hot sauce. The taste was richer and more mysterious. Against the background of red oil, the spinach was fresh, the sweetness is even more wonderful, and the combination of the two produces a completely different chemical reaction. It's just that this Phoenix Jade Dumpling has not yet reached the level of luminous cuisine. Now it can only be said to be delicious, and it cannot reach the level of stunning. There is nothing to lose, just keep working hard and try more. This Phoenix Jade Dumpling is not particularly difficult for Li Xian now. After all, the recipe has all the steps and proportions written there. and the rest is nothing more than trying it out. After the phoenix jade dumplings, Li Xian didn't make the small master's fried dumplings first, but made the xinglong dumplings first. In fact, it's not that he didn't make them, but because the small master's fried dumplings need to use crushed dumplings. Pork bone broth, which takes time. It also takes time to marinate pork back in red oil, both of which take time, so Li Xian practiced making tanglong dumplings while he waited. The ingeniousness of xinglong dumplings lies mainly in the use of two kinds of skins to make them stand upright, and the carving of the knife makes the dumplings have the shape of a dragon. The first thing to do is to deal with the shrimp, separate the shrimp body from the shrimp head. Don't throw the separated shrimp head, wrap it in bread crumbs and fry it. The children next door are crying. Of course, this is not the case. The shrimp head needs to take out the shrimp brain inside and add it to the dumpling stuffing to make the shrimp taste more complete. Later, the shrimp head was also carved into the shape of a dragon, with dragon whiskers and dragon horns. Here, Li Xian changed it a little, borrowing from the Dumpling Brothers' Julong dumplings. The original small-headed xinglong dumpling has some disadvantages, that is, it does not have the experience of dumplings from the Dumpling Brothers in appearance. If it is not better in taste and concept, it may not necessarily be able to win the other party. In terms of color and aroma, the fragrance is no problem, but the appearance and color need to be supplemented. For example, Li Xian thinks that the Dumpling Brothers thought of using red peppers to carve dragon scales. Cover the red peppers, and it can also show the exquisite carvings. After making enough fillings, rice roll skin and dough skin, Li Xian started making dumplings. Using two kinds of skins to make dumplings is not so simple. How to make the dumplings evenly wrapped by the two kinds of skins without revealing the filling, and finally reheating in the steamer will produce the effect of standing upright. Li Xian has never been like this operated. This really cost Li Xian a lot of time and energy. During this time, the soup was cooked and Li Xian didn't care. Shichichi. Seeing tanglong dumplings standing looming in the white mist, Li Xian laughed. It took a lot of effort to achieve such a small tanglong dumpling. Needing the right shrimp filling, whether it is fragrant or sweet, it is 12 points, and it is very bounce when you bite it, and the dumpling filling is added with clean shrimp brains, which makes the delicious shrimp more thorough and complete. Li Xian is very satisfied with the xinglong dumplings, and the food cells in his body are also quite satisfied. Li Xian can feel the cheering of his body cells and the power of slowly rising. I have to say that these three dumpling dishes have different treatments for the dumpling skins. Phoenix jade dumplings add spinach powder, while xinglong dumplings use two kinds of skins, noodle skin and intestine powder skin. When the little master is making dumplings, he naturally has to do things on the dumpling skin. In order to make the fried dumplings crispy at the bottom and tender and smooth, add potato flour when kneading the dough. There is also a different idea in the filling. Take out the pork back oil soaked in red oil, cut it into small pieces, and add it to the meat filling. As for why you say this, it will be mentioned below. When the dumplings are fried, they are put in the broth made from the chopped pork bones. This broth is rich in pork bone marrow and flavor. After heating, it browns and emits a unique fragrance that instantly makes people feel good. Hooked. In other words, the DNA is moving, and when we smell this, there will be a craving for food in our minds. The use of broth is not only to make the word incense perfectly, but more importantly, the broth will penetrate into the dumpling skin during the frying process, so that the original bland dumpling skin has a taste, so there is no need to dip it in additional sauce. Seeing that the system indicated that the completion level had reached 90%, Li Xian couldn't wait to sit down and start tasting the fried dumplings. The aroma just now was really torturous. The dumpling skin is the first to come into contact with the teeth, the lower part is crispy, and the other parts are pink and tender. The two different tastes give people a contrasting taste, and they will not feel dry mouth because of eating too many fried dumplings. Dry tongue, and the taste of the broth blended into it, this dumpling skin can be said to be the most perfect dumpling skin Li Xian has ever eaten. The dumpling stuffing is also exceptionally soft, and every bite has a plump sauce, just like a soup dumpling. Evenly spread into the dumpling filling, just like adding aspic in a soup dumpling. The slightly numb and slightly spicy flavor gently stimulates the tongue, making you unable to resist one after another, no matter how you eat it. You feel like you can't eat enough, which makes you want to stop. Li Xian, who has completed the task and satisfied his appetite, is thinking about the dumpling filling just now. It's not that the current dumpling fillings are not delicious, but the ability is too low, and they all use ordinary ingredients. Li Xian is wondering if it can be replaced with ingredients from the gourmet world. Like Phoenix Jade dumplings and Xiaodongjia pan dumplings, Li Xian can use Hankrilla bird meat instead of the original meat. Hankilila bird meat is rich in flavor and juicy, and the meat is definitely not bad when you think of it as being rated as a great fat tuna. The more Li Xian thought about it, the more he felt that this method was feasible. He couldn't help getting up and made a serving of both jade dumplings and pan-fried dumplings. As expected, it tasted more delicious, and the completion of the system prompt also improved a little. As for Tanglong dumplings, Li Xian currently doesn't have the magic ingredient for shrimp, so he can only replace it after he has it. He thinks the opal shrimp inside is quite suitable. However, these special versions are all eaten by Li Xian himself. After all, the ingredients in the food world contain a lot of energy. This is also a more important issue. The energy contained in the ingredients in the food world is at best just a feeling of support for people in the food world to eat these foods. After thousands of years of reproduction, they basically have gourmet cells in their bodies. It's just whether they are awakened, so they can absorb these energies. For the halberd world, they are all ordinary people. If they eat like the people in the food world, it will definitely not work. Therefore, when Li Xian extracted the ingredients of the food world, he dissipated 100% of the energy through the super backpack, leaving only the level that ordinary people can absorb without being burst. This is also when I was worried about this problem. The system told Li Xian that the super backpack still has this function, just need Li Xian's mind to move, and no other operations are required. Li Xian doesn't want to open a store and risk his life, but this is only for the outside world. If it's himself, he definitely doesn't need it. Otherwise, he has to eat as much as he can to feel full and enhance the awakening of food cells. The problem was solved, and he added 3 new dishes and 2 magical ingredients. As for the Nishiki sushi stone and lily of the valley cherry, Li Xian took out a little and tasted it. After the brocade sushi stone was broken, it was filled with delicious assorted sushi. Li Xian ate it, and the taste was not bad. As for whether to sell it later, let's talk about it. The lily of the valley cherry is a top-quality cherry, named because it blooms like a lily of the valley and has different colors, like a lily of the valley flower, and the round cherries are like pearls. Assorted sushi. Li Xian didn't eat much, but he ate a lot of lily of the valley cherries. After the meal, the fruit was a rare magical ingredient. The soda watermelon I got before was basically used for juicing. Except for the sweet whole fruit, this is the second fruit Li Xian has eaten. The next morning, Tadakoro Megumi really came early. Li Xian was surprised when he opened the door for her, but he knew why when he saw her coming straight to the backyard. "Shall we? They will be given to you to feed this morning. I will plant the plants in the backyard this morning." Tadakoro Megumi is very satisfied with Li Xian's arrangement. Isn't the reason why he came so early this morning just to play with these little cuties? Li Xian is very clear about Tadakoro Megumi's careful thoughts. He simply wants to satisfy her. He has been working so hard every day without complaining. Today, let's give her a vacation. The big bag of seeds that Ryoko Sakaki and the others brought over can be said to be enough for Li Xian to plant 2 or 3 times in the backyard. Most of the seeds on the market are available. Li Xian basically chose vegetables and fruits that are commonly eaten when designing, so there is no need to look for it. The 2 of them had been busy all morning before planting all the backyards. Tadakoro Megumi in front had fed the little cuties and played with them for a while, and also came to help. Li Xian didn't ask her to do any heavy work, just help with watering. The 2 of them had to go to the kitchen to process the ingredients after washing their hands. This time, because the time was a little tight, Li Xian turned on the fire, and the efficiency made Tadakoro Megumi stunned. It was inhuman. In the case of Li Xian's great power, they completed the preparation of the ingredients as usual, and even left time for them to eat. Li Xian didn't plan to do anything fancy, just happened to take out the Jinzushi stone from yesterday's lottery, take out 2 small portable gas stoves from the kitchen and place 2 large gray and white stones on top to heat them. Brother Li Xian, is this our lunch today? Tadakoro Megumi looked at Li Xian with a question mark on his face. People eat dirt, so should we upgrade to eat rocks? No wonder Tadakoro Megumi thinks so. The appearance of Nishizushi stone is really deceptive, and the only crack that divides it is very small. Don't worry, it's time to witness a miracle. Li Xian borrowed the words of a magician with a smile and used a small hammer to knock it on the Nishizushi stone. The whole Nishizushi stone was perfectly cracked along the lines in the middle. The aroma that was originally blocked by the rock burst out with the appearance of the crack. It's so fragrant. Is this the taste of assorted sushi? The next morning, Tadakoro Megumi really came early. Li Xian was surprised when he opened the door for her, but he knew why when he saw her coming straight to the backyard. Shall we? They will be given to you to feed this morning. I will plant the plants in the backyard this morning. Tadakoro Megumi is very satisfied with Li Xian's arrangement. Isn't the reason why he came so early this morning just to play with these little cuties? Li Xian is very clear about Tadakoro Megumi's careful thoughts. He simply wants to satisfy her. He has been working so hard every day without complaining. Today, let's give her a vacation. The big bag of seeds that Ryoko Sakaki and the others brought over can be said to be enough for Li Xian to plant 2 or 3 times in the backyard. Most of the seeds on the market are available. Li Xian basically chose vegetables and fruits that are commonly eaten when designing, so there is no need to look for it. The 2 of them had been busy all morning before planting all the backyards. Tadakoro Megumi in front had fed the little cuties and played with them for a while, and also came to help. Li Xian didn't ask her to do any heavy work, just help with watering. The 2 of them had to go to the kitchen to process the ingredients after washing their hands. This time, because the time was a little tight, Li Xian turned on the fire, and the efficiency made Tadakoro Megumi stunned. It was inhuman. In the case of Li Xian's great power, they completed the preparation of the ingredients as usual, and even left time for them to eat. Li Xian didn't plan to do anything fancy, just happened to take out the Jinzushi stone from yesterday's lottery, take out 2 small portable gas stoves from the kitchen and place 2 large gray and white stones on top to heat them. Brother Li Xian, is this our lunch today? Tadakoro Megumi looked at Li Xian with a question mark on his face. People eat dirt, so should we upgrade to eat rocks? No wonder Tadakoro Megumi thinks so. The appearance of Nishizushi stone is really deceptive, and the only crack that divides it is very small. Don't worry, it's time to witness a miracle. Li Xian borrowed the words of a magician with a smile and used a small hammer to knock it on the Nishizushi stone. The whole Nishizushi stone was perfectly cracked along the lines in the middle. The aroma that was originally blocked by the rock burst out with the appearance of the crack. It's so fragrant. Is this the taste of assorted sushi? If you're enjoying my content, please consider donating a coffee or checking out my shirts on TeePublic. When Tadakoro Megumi came to the kitchen the next day, he found that there was suddenly a lot of burgundy red wine and beef tendon in the kitchen. Brother Li Xian, do you have any new dishes? It's been a while since Li Xian brought out the 3 dishes of yunlong fried shrimp. According to Li Xian's efficiency, he should also withdraw from the new dishes. That's why Tadakoro Megumi asked this question. No, didn't you already learn the magic Mappo tofu dish yesterday? These are the ingredients that I will teach you the next dish today. Li Xian's answer was that Tadakoro Megumi didn't expect it at all. He originally thought that today's practice would be to choose one of silky chicken braised rice, yunlong fried shrimp, and imitation crispy grilled meat, but he didn't expect it to be a new dish. What I'm going to teach you today is a French dish, beef stew with burgundy red wine. After all, you're still in school in Tatsuki, so you still need to learn more dishes from other countries to broaden your horizons, not just Chinese and Japanese food. Tadakoro Megumi was still curious about why Li Xian had new dishes, but not on the menu. As soon as she heard it was French cuisine or beef stew with burgundy red wine, she knew why. To describe it in 3 words, it would be no. Suitable for. Li Xian is still a Chinese restaurant after all, and the main focus is Chinese food. With such a French dish, it is a bit abrupt and nondescript, so it will not be launched at all. Although it is not launched, it does not affect Tadakoro Megumi's learning of this dish, and Li Xian is also right. This dish, Tadakoro Megumi has learned this dish when he was in school before, but he just learned the recipe and didn't really do it. Make. As a basic French dish, the production process is naturally not too difficult. The beef is soaked in water to remove myoglobin, and then drained with kitchen paper. The beef is marinated in red wine. No, here Li Xian uses honey and pineapple juice. Li Xian saw the doubt in Tadakoro Megumi's eyes and explained, according to the original method, marinating the beef with red wine is fine, but why I added honey and pineapple juice? The reason is to add flavor to the beef. As well as making the beef easier to rot when stewed, honey contains protease that can break down protein, and pineapple juice can make the meat soft and tender without the need to stew for too long. Hearing Li Xian's explanation, Tadakoro Megumi silently wrote down this little knowledge point in her heart. She knows that in Tatsuki, it is often such a little skill that can make her stand out. And there's no fool's question of not following the recipe if it wouldn't taste so good, which a slightly smarter cook wouldn't ask. Fry the beef on all sides with butter until the coating layer, pour in the original marinade, add carrot cubes and soy sauce, and simmer in the pot. At this time, you can prepare the side dishes. Boil the broccoli, cut the stems of the mushrooms in half, fry until golden brown. The beef is almost ready, open the lid to collect the juice, simmer until the sauce thickens, take out the beef, put the mushrooms and cauliflower on the plate, and pour the sauce. Burgundy beef stew, done. Try it and see what the difference is with my improved version. Li Xian handed the knife and fork to Tadakoro Megumi, and the first thing Tadakoro Megumi did was to press the beef with a fork, because Li Xian's cooking time was far less than the cooking time, although with honey and pineapple juice, but it's all about the facts. Gently pressing it with a fork, the tender beef seemed to be able to bounce off the fork. This amazing softness made Tadakoro Megumi try several times, but it was the same every time. Then cut a piece of beef. The soft and tender beef in the entrance is directly transformed into beef juice and swept the whole mouth. And the aroma of honey makes people seem to melt in the honey pool, but because of the addition of pineapple juice, the slightly sour taste makes people sweet and sweet. Not greasy, the unique fruity aroma also gives this dish another flavor. How about it, okay? Then I'll teach you this dish after eating. This dish is actually not difficult. Li Xian also experienced it when he was studying before. The main thing is that he has to wait while stewing. The remaining side dishes are handled with ease. Tadakoro Megumi is easy. Under the leadership of the great god Li Xian, the trumpet Tadakoro Megumi can be said to be in the process of crazy promotion. Li Xian read the information of Tadakoro Megumi and waited until she learned this burgundy red wine stewed beef, and then practice a little, should be able to be promoted to 3-star chef. As for Li Xian, I'm sorry, he has quietly been promoted to the ranks of 4-star chefs. Besides, he has not fallen behind in the awakening of food cells, and has now reached level 8. Everything is progressing in a positive direction. As for the issue of launching new dishes today, it is indeed time to launch new dishes. For the 3 dumpling dishes that Li Xian drew last time, Li Xian only intends to launch the Phoenix Jade dumpling. The reason is naturally that 3 of the same dishes are a bit repetitive, and you are fighting with yourself in the arena, so it is the most appropriate to launch one. Why did you choose Phoenix Jade dumpling? First, it is more experienced than the other 2 dishes in terms of appearance. Phoenix, which is soaring from the ashes, is a mediocre fried dumpling, and the special effect of Xinglong dumpling requires reheating. Li Xian does not. Maybe everyone who orders a serving of Xinglong dumplings will perform a round for them. The second is the complexity of the production. Dumplings need to be boiled with broth, and they need to be fried in one pot and one pot. This is not counting the time of making dumplings before, and it takes too long. As for tanglong dumplings, there are 2 kinds of dough skins, as well as carving shrimp heads and dragon scales. Even if Li Xian is efficient, he can't be busy. Don't forget that he is the only one working in the kitchen. Phoenix jade dumplings only need to be kneaded beforehand. And with the filling ready, the rest is not difficult. To sum up, only Master GD's Phoenix jade dumplings are the most suitable for sale in the restaurant. As for the 2 dishes of the little master, they can only be pressed at the bottom of the box. Every time Li Xian adds a new dish, he cannot escape the sharp-eyed Tadakoro Megumi. Phoenix jade dumplings, 3,000 yen. This is a new addition to the menu. Tadakoro Megumi happily ran to Li Xian and said with a smile, "Brother Li Xian, another Phoenix jade dumpling has been added. Shall we eat this for lunch?" After getting along, Tadakoro Megumi dared to put forward his own request in front of Li Xian, which is a good thing, and it's not just eating dumplings at noon. What's the difficulty? Li Xian certainly won't refuse. After getting Li Xian's consent, Tadakoro Megumi happily ran to the backyard. Now she has basically given her the work of feeding every morning. If Li Xian hadn't forced her to go back at night, she would have wanted to feed and go back at night. It's a little bit Yoshino Yuki's feeling. At noon, like a phoenix that was about to fly, of course, it was loved by Tadakoro Megumi, and it was a bit unbearable to destroy. Tadakoro Megumi silently took a picture with her mobile phone. Every time she had a new dish, she would take a picture. Li Xian is used to it. Not only is it beautiful in appearance, the fresh and sweet red oil of spinach is slightly spicy, and the mellow, rich and wonderful taste of the meat is even more unforgettable. As expected by Tadakoro Megumi, this is another must-kill dish. As long as it is eaten for himself or friends like Tadakoro Megumi, Li Xian will basically reach a luminous level. At noon, the gorgeously presented Phoenix jade dumplings were recognized by everyone. It should be said that so far, Phoenix jade dumplings are the best and most beautiful dishes in Li Xian's restaurant. As for other dishes, it can only be said that they are quite satisfactory. After all, Li Xian did not use all his strength when cooking to make them reach the level of luminous dishes. Without the special effects given by the lighting engineer, these dishes will naturally lose their charm. In the evening, Li Xian looked at the level of awakening of the food cells at level 8, and felt that it was time to continue the smoking behavior. The last 5 batches gave him a lot of confidence. It seems that he is not a black hand from a non-chief, so this time it will be fine. I hope this time there will be more prizes that can help him improve his food cells. System, give me a 10 consecutive lottery draw. After the system automatically deducted 1 million yen from Li Xian, the sound of the system followed. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the meringue shrimp, the ordering system, the recipe for grilled mackerel with sansho and vegetable puree, the recipe for mackerel tea and rice balls, the recipe for spherical rice balls, the special kitchenware for spherical rice pudding, 5 yen for money, 5-color rainbow porridge recipe, potato chip tree, and stone cloth fish. Li Xian looked at the prizes of the 10 consecutive draws. This time I got 3 kinds of ingredients in the food world. Among them, there are shrimps that I have been talking about before. Li Xian took a look at the introduction of these ingredients. Stone cloth fish, a tropical fish whose head is a stone and its tail is cloth. Opalescent shrimp, the shrimps are like opalescent gemstones, which will glow with colorful and gorgeous brilliance. Once they enter the mouth will briefly emit light. Potato chip tree, its leaves are as crispy and delicious as freshly fried potato chips. Among them, the best is of course the opal shrimp, which is the highest in terms of taste, appearance, and current availability. The rest of the potato chip tree has been turned into a snack like crunchy mushrooms. As for the strange stonecloth fish, Li Xian has no idea what to do with it for the time being. There is no fish-related dishes on hand, and the stonecloth fish does not look very delicious. All of a sudden, Li Xian had a flash of inspiration. It can't be used as edible fish, but can be used as ornamental fish. Isn't there an ornamental fish pond in my backyard? There are no residents in it yet. The stonecloth fish is just right. With the habit of stonecloth fish, as well as the colorful body, it will also become a scene in the backyard. However, before that, it must be confirmed whether the stonecloth fish can survive in this world. Li Xian asked the system about this question and got a positive answer. Survival is definitely possible, and it is also possible to feed ordinary fish food normally. It's just that because of the lack of corresponding energy and food, there is no way to continue to grow. The system also suggests that Li Xian can feed some meat from the food world for a long time to ensure their normal growth. After listening to this, Li Xian felt relieved. As long as he can adapt to the environment, he can feed him every day. Don't forget the existence of this barbecue tree on Hankrilla Island. Li Xian is basically, if you don't move it much, a few fish can't eat much. So it was such a happy decision, so that the planning of the backyard was fully realized, and another matter officially came to an end. The remaining meringue prawns, Li Xian, can also be used as ingredients for the yunlong fried prawns and the newly obtained xinglong dumplings. Of course, this is for myself and my friends. The restaurant is better to use the old one, otherwise I will mention it. The price is nothing. With such a high-value meringue shrimp, the two ingredients will ideally be more delicious, and the xinglong dumpling with only light effect will definitely be more lifelike. This time, I got 4 recipes, but the gold content is not very high. Li Xian stared at the recipes he won in this raffle. Among them, grilled mackerel with pepper and mackerel tea and rice balls were the recipes for Yukihira Soma to compete with Ashiki Satoshi on the first night of Polar Star Dorm. They are all based on the theme of spring, but they are both handmade by the two of them, and they can only be regarded as ordinary cooking. The rest of the spherical pot rice and the 5-color rainbow porridge are the same as the silky chicken braised rice obtained earlier, and they are all dishes made by the young master during his travels after passing through the super chef. It can only be said that this time the recipe did not make Li Xian very surprised and happy. Apart from the 7 rewards above, Li Xian is quite concerned about the remaining 3 rewards. Not to mention the 5 yen money, the special kitchenware for spherical crockpot is also clear at a glance. If you want to make a unique spherical crockpot, you will definitely need its unique cooking tools. But Li Xian didn't think that the system was not given away for free, but included in the prizes of the lottery. Forget it, just give it away, so that Li Xian would have to build or customize it with the system. More pit. Finally, and what Li Xian wants to know most is the so-called ordering system. Let's talk about this ordering system won by lottery. Li Xian listened for 2 or 3 minutes before the system finished explaining. As for why it took so long, he mainly included some operation instructions. In short, diners can order meals 1 day in advance through this system. Li Xian can also add and delete dishes at will, and can also issue some statements to tell diners, such as one day Li Xian does not open the door. Diners can see above, no need to run over. In fact, it is a combination of the official account and the reservation system that Li Xian used in his previous life. Li Xian is very satisfied with this prize. As Li Xian became famous, more and more customers came, so there were more people queuing up, and sometimes the long queues had passed the meal time, or the dishes they wanted to eat were not available. During this time, Li Xian and Tadakoro Megumi have not listened to the complaints of diners. If the dishes in Li Xian's restaurant were not delicious enough, many people would not be able to stand the torture of this queue. It would be nice to have a meal ordering system now. Guests who want to come can make reservations in advance and come when the time comes. Although there may still be a queue at the meal time, it is much more uncertain than before, and at least it can be guaranteed that they will be able to eat. Cooking instead of dry and so on. And Li Xian will not put a lot of places out for the sake of turnover. In this case, what is the difference between having an ordering system and not having an ordering system? He thought about it all. Taking 1 hour as a divided time point, the quota for each hour is 60, which means that the store is full, and 1 hour is basically enough for most people to eat. Of course, Li Xian will not chase people if it exceeds an hour. According to Li Xian's observation, many diners will not eat for an hour. Basically, it is like 30 to 40 minutes. Li Xian still has a little leeway. Li Xian was able to do this naturally because of the confidence that the recent booming business gave him, and he was not worried that no one would come. What's more, Li Xian is not dead-headed and will not be flexible. If the reservation is not satisfied, there are vacancies and will not refuse new guests. It is just a priority for the guests with reservations. Li Xian cannot guarantee that the reservations will be fully booked every day. The prices of the dishes in Li Xian's restaurant are there, and the business is so hot every day, there are still many new customers in it. Li Xian's business hours are 2 hours in the morning and 4 hours in the evening, which means that the number of customers in one day is 360, which seems to be a lot, but the distribution is just right. Picked up the phone and checked the time. Today is Wednesday, so it is appropriate to warm up for 3 or 4 days and start the official online use next Monday. During this period of time, Li Xian was bored in the store and never rested. This is not good. He came to this world and hadn't gone around to look around. How can this work? If you don't make money and don't spend it, how can you enjoy it? Therefore, Li Xian plans to only open 6 days a week in the future, leaving Sundays for himself as his own rest time. What's more, this is a world where food comes first. Although other chefs don't have the ingredients of the food world, the food they make is also very good for Li Xian's food cell awakening. Not to mention, there is a chef called Shura who is near here, and Li Xian really wants to try the other side's cuisine. If you don't go now, Yukihira Joichiro won't know where he went after Tatsuki starts school, and it will be difficult to try his dishes again. Now is the best time for him to hide in the city and raise his son. Although he will definitely not present the most delicious and ultimate dishes in his Yukihira restaurant, just like Li Xian is now, but Li Xian said, "You have a way to let the other party cook for you." Thinking of Li Xian, he couldn't help but took out his phone and started searching for the location of the other party's small shop, as well as other gourmet shops. As for the new 4-course recipe? I can't run away, and I don't have any dishes that appeal to me. Let's talk about it tomorrow. The next morning, Li Xian first briefly explained the ordering system on the display screen of the menu, and the fact that it will only be open for 6 days in the future, and attached a special website and QR code below. This era is faster than the development of science and technology in animation, at least in the area of smartphones. It was originally a keyboard machine at this time, but I don't know where to turn a corner and quickly entered the era of smartphones. Li Xian is too lazy to go into details. The emergence of smartphones and QR codes will undoubtedly bring many benefits to his stores. After it was done, Li Xian went to the backyard. The fish pond was filled with water a few days ago, and the aquatic plants were planted in it. Seeing Li Xian come in, the cats and dogs all gathered around, and after Li Xian played with them for a while, he let them play by themselves. It's not time to feed, and after taking Tadakoro Megumi's job, the little girl will be mumbling all day. Not without precedent, after Li Xian did this last time, it made Tadakoro Megumi unhappy for a morning, as if he had done something heinous. So Li Xian didn't plan to do this. He came to the pool and was still followed by the Persian cat and the German shepherd. Li Xian didn't care about these two sticky guys. After estimating the size of the pool, Li Xian felt that it would be good to put 10 rock-cloth fish, not too many or too few, so that they have space to swim freely. Looking at the stone-cloth fish wandering around in a sudden change of environment, Li Xian and the 2 cats and dogs squatted aside to watch, not to mention, it was pretty good-looking. After they are familiar with each other, the encounter of famous scenes will be divided into winners and losers. Li Xian laughed when he saw the rock-cloth fish who used his head and tail to guess boxing. However, I also told the 2 cats and dogs to take care of other cats and dogs, and not to catch these stonecloth fish, they may be injured. Li Xian isn't joking or scaring them, it's true. Although the stonecloth fish living in the food world is at the low end of the food chain and has not reached the catch level 1, it is also more ferocious than ordinary fish and shrimp, especially the wide and long tail. It is not easy to fan the kittens and puppies, so I still need to discipline them. Of course, there must be guardrails next to the ornamental fish pond, but I am afraid that they are just naughty, so I still need to remind them a little. Brother Li Xian, what are you doing? Tadakoro Megumi, who had read the notice about the ordering system in the restaurant, was about to ask Li Xian when he came in and saw him and the cat and dog watching with relish by the fish-watching pond. "Isn't there nothing in it? What catches your eyes?" "This is a new ornamental fish I got. It's called stonecloth fish. How about it? Isn't it weird and cute?" Tadakoro Megumi followed Li Xian's words and looked into the pool. His first sense was strange, very strange, with a fisted head and a colorful body. And at this time, two stonecloth fish met, watching them use their huge tails to guess boxing. Tadakoro Megumi was instantly shocked. They can guess the box? Yeah, this is also the origin of their names, not only because of their body shape, but also because of their habit of doing rock-paper-scissors boxing when they meet. Li Xian said with a smile, and Tadakoro Megumi also knew why Li Xian watched with so much interest with cats and dogs. So amazing. I still admire Li Xian's ability to create such magical ingredients and creatures. Tadakoro Megumi like magic. After watching for a while, Tadakoro Megumi remembered the original purpose of coming here. Didn't he come to ask about the ordering system? How can I indulge in appreciating fish? Brother Li Xian, I have another matter. What is the specific situation of the ordering system written in the store? Hearing Tadakoro Megumi ask this, Li Xian explained it to her carefully. After all, she is likely to explain this matter to the diners later, so she must be clear, even if she doesn't ask Li Xian take the initiative to tell her. The two discussed this issue while preparing cat and dog food in the kitchen. Later, Li Xian also let Tadakoro Megumi operate it himself, and basically explained all the doubts and problems encountered. Tadakoro Megumi's IQ is very good. Just figured it out and remembered. It's best to memorize it, but it's normal not to be able to remember. After all, I said so many things at once, and Li Xian is not in the store, so Li Xian can come out directly if he doesn't know anything. Tadakoro Megumi is naturally very happy with the emergence of the ordering system. The first one is that the complaints from customers will be much less, so I don't have to deal with so much. The second is to be happy for Li Xian. With fewer guests, his workload will be reduced. Not to mention, there are rest days. Li Xian will definitely be able to go out and play activities later. After all, I have to go back to school after school starts. Li Xian has not recruited people yet. If this is the case, he will definitely be overwhelmed. Originally, Tadakoro Megumi wanted to remind him later, but now it seems that Li Xian knows it. Brother Li Xian, what are we having for lunch today? While preparing the ingredients, Tadakoro Megumi asked. It has been 2 days since the announcement of the meal ordering system. In the past 2 days, 80% of regular customers are aware of this matter, and the remaining 2 days should be about the same. They are naturally very happy about the online ordering system. With this reservation system, they will also be much more convenient. We eat mackerel for lunch today. Li Xian took out a few pieces of mackerel from the ingredients on the side, which was specially ordered when he placed the order last night. For Li Xian's appetite, 1 mackerel was not enough. In the past 2 days, Li Xian took the time to enter the kitchen to learn the 4 dishes that he obtained last time. Is it mackerel? It seems Li Xian brother, you have learned a new dish, but I don't know if it will be added to the menu this time. Li Xian shook his head while dealing with the mackerel. Regarding the 2 dishes of mackerel, whether it is grilled mackerel with peppercorns with vegetable puree or mackerel tea with rice balls, it is not suitable to be added to the menu in the store, and it is only eaten on a daily basis. Just eat. The processed mackerel pieces Li Xian are divided into 2 parts, 1 part is used for roasting, the other part is put into a frying pan, poured in olive oil and frying. Tadakoro Megumi watched Li Xian keep pouring oil on the mackerel, and suddenly remembered the information he had read in a cooking book. Brother Li Xian, you are using the method of frying, she continued before Li Xian replied. The method of frying is suitable for ingredients with a certain thickness of skin, and mackerel is very suitable. Yes, it's fried. In addition to mackerel, salmon is also suitable for frying, so that the skin of the fish will be fried to a crisp and crisp. Li Xian poured olive oil from the pot over the mackerel pieces and taught Tadakoro Megumi some knowledge. Then make a puree of spring cabbage as the main ingredient, and run a large pot of salt kelp tea with a teapot, a large bowl of rice for myself, and a normal portion of rice from Tadakoro Megumi. Finally, put a pot of assorted sushi that has been continuously tumbling, and start the meal. Try it. These are 2 dishes with spring in mind: grilled mackerel with pepper and vegetable puree and mackerel tea with rice balls. Tadakoro Megumi first tasted the grilled mackerel with sansho peppers with vegetable puree. This is a Japanese dish, that is, a regular Japanese dish. This is also the first time that Li Xian has cooked Japanese food for Tadakoro Megumi. The delicately grilled pieces of mackerel, the puree with spring cabbage as the main ingredient, and the sweetness and tenderness that melts in the mouth are a perfect match for mackerel. Spring season mackerel and cabbage, the perfect combination of the two can enhance each other's taste, as gorgeous as the revival of all things in spring, as if people feel the refreshing spring breeze gently blowing past. Tadakoro Megumi didn't expect Li Xian to be able to make Japanese food, and his knowledge is not shallow. Although this grilled mackerel with pepper and vegetable puree is not a must-kill dish, it is also a good dish. Tadakoro Megumi is looking forward to another together. Li Xian poured the salt kelp tea into a small bowl from top to bottom, then passed the tea to Tadakoro Megumi, and poured the rest into his own sea bowl. The salty and mellow salt seaweed tea, the mackerel is plump and juicy, the fish skin is fried to a crisp, every time you chew it, the deliciousness will spew out. The pure white rice is like snow, and it looks like a pear of spring. The picture is normal. Such a match is undoubtedly a perfect match, and it is the best embodiment of the vitality of spring, giving people a feeling of revival of all things after the snow melts. I have to say that Li Xian's dishes are always so memorable. These 2 dishes are very close to the theme of spring. The ingredients used and the taste of the dishes are completely spring. What surprised Tadakoro Megumi even more was that Li Xian's eclectic cooking was not limited to his current vision because of the origin of a certain dish. The last beef stew in Burgundy and red wine explained that Li Xian is learning about French cuisine, and this time he directly added French techniques to Japanese cuisine. This ability to be imaginative and free to play is something that many chefs can only dream of. Li Xian is more than Tadakoro Megumi, praising himself so much in his heart. He has not yet reached this level, and he will definitely be in the future. Holding his big name, Li Xian ate grilled mackerel and chapao rice. I have to say that chapao rice is quite different. As for the grilled mackerel with sansho and vegetable puree, Li Xian did not have a small piece of fish on a large plate like Ishiki Satoshi, but filled the plate. Paired with the delicious assorted sushi over there, it is simply too comfortable. Li Xian ate 3 bowls with tears in his eyes. He even took out the deboned meat of the barbecue tree from the super backpack and ate a few pieces. The reason why Li Xian's appetite increased greatly was naturally that his food cell awakening level has increased. In the past few days, it has reached 50% of level 8 quietly, and it is getting closer and closer to the awakening of gourmet cells. What is your own food demon? Really very curious. Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.